Calcutta, 1896, the capital of India, the crown jewel of the British Empire, an elegant city of wide avenues and spacious parks. It is here that Aboy Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami is born. A pure devotee of Krishna from birth, Aboy Charan is raised in a well-to-do mercantile family. From infancy, he goes with his father to the Radha Krishna temple, and at age 4, the child spontaneously begins worshipping similar deities in his home. When Aboy Charan hears of Ratha Yatra, a traditional festival in honor of Lord Krishna, it further inspires his natural devotion. With his father's help, every year he holds his own small celebration, drawing the neighborhood children into the festivities.
Come to the place where the whole world is looking upon, and that is none other than Calcutta's most glorious place. Spiritually, this is the place which showed the world the love of Krishna consciousness. Yes, you're absolutely right. We are here at the very place of Srila Prabhupada's birthplace. This is the same jackfruit tree which is being saved and protected by the love of all of you. And on this September 1st, our Honorable Chief Minister Srimati Mamata Bandyopadhyay has inaugurated this place. And how miraculously we got this place, about that you will be hearing from different speakers. Let us all pray and take blessings from the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And I got a souvenir for all of you. This is the leaf from this beautiful tree, which I am going to offer it to you all. You can take it as a souvenir, as a blessing, and definitely, Krishna willing, Prabhupada willing, you all will come here. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Kumarhatta, he is Gurudev's birthplace, that how it is glorious, he took the mud from there. All of you should come, all of us should come and take the blessing of this divine place of our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada's birthplace. In this place, we have Vishwambar Gauranga Prabhu. He is taking care of this place, and he wants to invite all of you for coming and visiting this place.
Please come.
So he wants you to come. Please bless him also, because he is going to stay here and take care of this divine place for behalf of all of you. Srila Prabhupada Janmasthan ki jai.
the love of Krishna in Vrindavan, in the most intimate relationship that Krishna displayed with the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan, Braja Gopis in Madhurya Ras. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed this only in India. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that it will be distributed, it will be broadcast all over the world in every town and village. Prithibite ache joto nagoradi gram sarbotra prachar hoibe mor naam. This prediction Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made 500 years ago, and about 460 years back, this had been recorded by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. This prediction was made at a time, what to speak of, every town and village, when people did not even know how many continents were there. Columbus at that time just discovered America. People were not aware of Australia. People were not also aware of Africa. At that time, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made that prediction, that in every town and village it will be distributed, appeared to be a poetic exaggeration. But the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead never goes in vain. Whatever he says becomes a reality. And in the recent past, we have seen how this incredible prediction has become a reality.
In Srila Prabhupada's dedication to Krishna book, where he glorifies Krishna and all of his pastimes, Srila Prabhupada is remembering his childhood in Kolkata. He's describing his father and mother who gave birth to him under this jackfruit tree. And he's describing these beautiful memories of Calcutta that are so much enshrined in his heart, and he's so much enshrined in our hearts. It was in Calcutta that Srila Prabhupada rose early morning every day to see his parents worshiping the deities of Radha Govinda. It was in Calcutta that Srila Prabhupada's mother and father gave him deities of Radha Govinda. It was in Kolkata that Srila Prabhupada's parents organized and facilitated their little child, Abhay Charan, to be the leader of the Ratha Yatra ceremony. Srila Prabhupada is remembering these beautiful moments of Calcutta in his dedication to telling the pastimes of Krishna. Calcutta is so special and so dear, but by the inconceivable arrangement of the Lord, for so many years in India, there was very little development. We see in places like Delhi and Mumbai and Bangalore and in Gujarat and in Tirupati and Mayapur. Throughout India, there's wonderful projects. But up until a few years ago in Calcutta, all there was just that one little floor that wasn't even very well maintained at Albert Road. But under the leadership of Dairam Prabhu and Radharaman Prabhu and their incredible, illustrious team of devotees, over the last few years, Albert Road, we have the whole building for the first time. Just a few years ago, it's totally renovated. Beautiful restaurants, beautiful deity worship. Old Tadunga Junction Road, the place that Srila Prabhupada first met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1922. The place where he was given the instruction, the seat of his mission, to take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in the English language to the whole world. And now we have full possession of that building. And by the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's next appearance day, it will be fully renovated to its original pristine for the whole world to come as an offering to Srila Prabhupada. And today, this historical moment we've been longing for and dreaming for. The devotees in Calcutta have struggled and strained beyond limits to try to procure this land for over 10 years.
Say that he's Adesh, he's a special person who came from the spiritual world.
So we see that he is an Avesh, a special person, came from the spiritual world.
Lord Chaitanya predicted he would send some Senapati Bhakta.
Lord Chaitanya predicted that he would send some Senapati Bhakta
And who would preach in the rest of the world.
who would preach in the rest of the world.
Lord Chaitanya said he preached in the Indian subcontinent,
Lord Chaitanya said he will preach in the Indian subcontinent,
and then the rest of the world was left for Srila Prabhupada.
and then rest of the world was for Srila Prabhupada.
And some people asked Srila Prabhupada, why didn't Lord Chaitanya deliver the whole world?
Some people asked Srila Prabhupada, why didn't Lord Chaitanya deliver the whole world?
He did, but he left the rest of the world for me to do.
Said he did, but he left rest of the world for me to do.
But anyway, this is very important. These tirthas of Srila Prabhupada are so important, especially for the upcoming generations. So they need to be able to see the history of Srila Prabhupada, see the history of ISKCON that he carried in his heart. So these tirtha places are extremely important. And, soon we'll be able to go on a tour of Calcutta to all the important places that Srila Prabhupada was in when he was growing up and took birth and etc.
Another temple. Isn't it looking Vrindavan? As I said, there are hidden treasures in Calcutta. And Srila Prabhupada's birthplace, just near to Srila Prabhupada's birthplace, this is Tollygunj and this is Radha Madan Mohan temple. Rajani Devi, Prabhupada's mother, she came to her elder sister's house to give birth to little Abhay. The same day when she came here to take darshan of Madan Mohanji, she had the labor pain. And then on 1st September of next day of Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada took birth. After 6 days in Bengali tradition, there is called Soshti Pujo. After 6 days, the boy is being bought in a temple of Krishna and then he gets the blessing of the deities. So Prabhupada was being bought here in this temple in front of Radha Madan Mohanji and he got blessings. He got blessing and every one of us we know. And when the astrologers saw little Abhay will become a great personality, will establish more Madan Mohan temples around the world. And this is the glory of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when he became a householder person, he used to stay very near to this place and he used to visit at that time also this beautiful place, this beautiful temple. On behalf of all of you in our Kolkata Yatra today, I am offering my sincere prayers that all of you can become more attached to the lotus feet of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, Radha Govind, and we can serve Sri Guru and Krishna at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And I also pray that offline you all come to these hidden treasures of Calcutta, you can visit and get the blessings of these beautiful deities, which has been specially worshipped and honored by Srila Prabhupada. Shri Madha Madan Mohan Ji Ki Jai. This is a very divine place. Where we are standing, this is the place where Srila Prabhupada, from his childhood, with his father and mother, he used to come. And he used to pray here with his whole family. This is none other than the Radha Govinda temple of Malliks. All over Prabhupada Lilamrita in the beginning and Prabhupada conversation, Prabhupada speaks about these deities. Even in our Calcutta temple, ISKCON temple, Prabhupada named the deities as Radha Govinda because he loves this Radha Govinda. Here you can take darshan of Radharani's lotus feet throughout the year. Very merciful. Prabhupada says that this is the courtyard where his spiritual life has started. Now we all know that Prabhupada is actually coming from the spiritual world. It is his humility that he is saying that his spiritual life has started from here. And another astonishing thing happened. The first Rath Yatra of his life as little Abhay, he started from this courtyard. And just for all of your pleasure, our first Rath Yatra of ISKCON also started from this courtyard. So this is a very significant place, very divine place that we are here in Kolkata Dham. This Yatra, Kartik Yatra, 125th year of Srila Prabhupada appearance. We are taking darshan of Radha Govinda and Balaram Revati. We are all praying for all of you, for our spiritual upliftment, spiritual life, happy Krishna conscious life, and our well-being and good health. Let us all pray for Shri Radha Govinda. I am going to pray for all of you. Please be with me. Let us all pray.
This Radha Govinda deity is very old deity of the Mallik family. I think not less than 200 years ago, this deity was established by the mother of Kashinath Malli. I think am I right? Another Kashin, original Kashinath Malli. I think his father's name was Gaur Mohan Malli. Am I right? Chittanath. No, the Kashinath Mallik's father. So, gradually, these whole quarters belong to this Mallik family. Still, in front of this temple, there is Bangal building. That is also the property of Radha Govinda. And as I have shown you coming, our house was just behind the present Govinda Bhavan. And we had the opportunity of seeing this Radha Govinda from very childhood. When I was 3 or 4 years old, I used to visit this Radha Govinda daily. And that is the inspiration of my devotional life. Then I asked my father that give me Radha Govinda deity, I shall worship. So my father was also Vaishnava. He gave me a small Radha Govinda deity. I was worshipping in my house. Whatever I was eating, I was offering. And I was following the ceremonies of this Radha Govinda with my small deity. That deity is still existing. I have given to my sister. So, then I introduced Yatra. So, my Yatra was being performed very gloriously. My father used to spend money. In those days, 10 rupees, 20 rupees was sufficient. I hired one Kirtan party and a small friends there, I think the brother of the present generation, and there was another Dev family here. So we performed this Ratha Yatra ceremony. According to our children's imagination, it was very gorgeous. So, I think our present Monmon, his name is Gabur Baba, Dadamosai, Gopeshwar Malli. Gopeshwar Malli was my father's friend. So, he was criticizing my father that you are performing Ratha Yatra ceremony and you are not inviting us. So my father said, these children's play, what shall I invite you? You are a very big man. So, you are avoiding. In the name of children, you are avoiding us. On the whole, the Ratha Yatra festival was very gorgeously. Then imitating me, the other, my brother like Kenglu, he also introduced Ratha Yatra and Kenglu. So all of them introduced Ratha Yatra and the destination was this Thakurvani from there. So practically what I am doing now, the same thing. Radha Krishna worship and introduction of Ratha Yatra. I am not doing anything else. You know very well. We are now performing Ratha Yatra ceremony practically in all big cities of the world. In San Francisco, in Philadelphia, London, Melbourne, Australia, Paris. So the same thing. The same Radha Krishna worship temples and same Ratha Yatra in a bigger scale. But the same thing was begun as play from this quarter, this Thakurbari. So anyway, this Thakurbari, Radha Govinda ji, in my life, that is the beginning of my the spiritual life. And after so many years, still Radha Govinda ji has dragged me. So it is his kindness. So the beginning was the same thing, worship of Radha Krishna deity and introduction of Rath Yatra. That is I am doing in a bigger scale and a wider scale all over the world. So there is nothing new.
At the back side, what you are seeing, this is the building of Bangad building, locally called. This is the place where Srila Prabhupada's father used to have his office and shop. And you can see this is a very busy place, so many birds and so many things. This is Calcutta. Everything is hidden. A great soul took birth here. That is the reason we are visiting the places. It is a hidden treasures of spirituality. So this is the third building, the third floor of this building, Prabhupada's father. You know this pastime, his father used to keep rice for the rats, that they should not cut his cloth. He was a cloth merchant. So we can remember and meditate upon Prabhupada and Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, and his mother, Rajani Devi, sisters. And we are in Kolkata Yatra. Hari Bol.
यदि प्रभुपाद न है तबे के है ये जीवन बहित किसे यदि प्रभुपाद न है तबे के है ये जीवन बहित किसे निताय गौरेरा अपार करुणा के दीत सकल गौरेरा अपार करुणा के दीत सकल देशे पश्यते रजत अपि दुराचारे शून्यवादी मायावा तादेर उद्धार करिबारे मना तादेर उद्धार करिबारे मना हेन कोन दयानी तादेर निकटे कोन जन आसी बिलाइत हरिना तादेर निकटे कोन जन आसी विलयित सभ्य जीव रूपे गणिते तादेर सभ्य जीव रूपे गणिते तादेर कि हईते आगुया देशे देशे हरि विग्रह सेवा हरति रात्रि दीने देशे देशे हरि विग्रह सेवा हरति रात्रि दीने रथ यात्रा दी महोत्सव सब रथ यात्रा दी महोत्सव सब शिखाइत को न जाने रथ यात्रा दी महोत्सव सब शिखाइत को न जाने गीता भागवत चैतन्य चरित प्रेमामृत रस चैतन्य चरित कतन सुंदर सरल करिया कतन सुंदर सरल करिया के बुझित कष्ट सही प्रीत माने रही केवदित हरिना केदित मोदेर पुरी वृंदावना केदित मोदेर पुरी वृंदावन मायापुर मत धाम परम मंगल श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु सिका चैतन्य महाप्रभु रसिकाधन आचार प्रचार सदा मदेरे आचार प्रचार सदा मदेरे के करित नियोजन प्रेम कल्पतरो निताय गौरेरा कृपा कनल भिबारे निरवधि जय पताका हृदय निरवधि जय पताका हृदय तुम्हारे शरण खोरे निताय गौरेर अपार करुणा खेदित सकल देशे निताय गौरेर अपार करुणा खेदित सकल देशे यदि प्रभुपाद न हईत तबे की हईत ये जीवन बहित कैसे यदि प्रभुपाद न हईत तबे की हईत ये जीवन बहित कैसे
This is the house, Govind Bhavan. Now, when Prabhupada took birth, after taking birth in Prabhupada's birthplace, Gaur Mohan De came here and he stayed here. First floor 2 rooms and down floor 4 rooms. They used to stay and they used to stay there. This is the same place in the veranda. By seeing the tram line, Prabhupada used to run and Prabhupada used to have some fun. He used to keep some wares up and then he will run and he will say, I am tram, I am tram, I am tram. So this is the place where Prabhupada stayed. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the Guru's place is very much worshipable. Let us all meditate. Prabhupada, beautiful childhood pastime here in this place. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, he grew up as Abhay Charan, that was his childhood name, and he grew up in the Indian section of northern Kolkata. So there was the British section and the Indian section, and Srila Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, lived in the Indian section of the northern Kolkata, and they belonged to a very aristocratic Suvarnavanik family. Srila Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, he was a very religious, devotional man. He would read Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam daily. He would worship deities, he would chant japa in his beats, and very, very devotional ambience he had created for his son, Abhay Charan. That was Srila Prabhupada's childhood name. And when Prabhupada was growing up, when he was just a small baby, 1.5 years old, Abhay got typhoid, and the doctor, family doctor, Dr. Bose came over, and he said, if your child has to recover, we have to feed him chicken soup. So Gaur Mohan De was aghast. He said, no, I can't feed chicken soup to my child because we are Vaishnavas, we don't eat meat. So Dr. Bose said, no problem, I will cook it in my house and I will get it in a jar. And then Gaur Mohan De very reluctantly agreed. He said, if my son has to live, then I don't mind. So finally, Dr. Bose brought chicken soup, and as soon as Abhay was fed, as soon as Abhay touched it with his lips, he vomited everything out. He just couldn't take it, and immediately Dr. Bose said, okay, never mind, it's okay, we don't need this. And then soon after, Abhay recovered from the typhoid. So this is one very nice pastime, which Srila Prabhupada was naturally, from childhood inclined to very spontaneously follow the principles, the regulative principles. And when he was around 4 years old, in the year 1900, a very devastating plague began to strike Kolkata, and every day 15 people to 20 people were dying, and thousands of people evacuated the city. So at that time, one elderly Babaji, he organized Harinam Sankirtan, and people, all kinds of people, regardless of caste and religion, Christians, Muslims, Parsis and Hindus, all of them joined doing Kirtan. And Abhay Charan and his family, Gaur Mohan, they were all growing up in 151 Harrison Road, and on both sides of the property on that road, there were a lot of blocks of properties owned by Loknath Malik. And Gaur Mohan and his family lived in a 3-story building and few of the rooms in there. And across the street from their house was Radha Govind temple. And when this Harinam Sankirtan party came to 151 Harrison Road, Gaur Mohan they also very happily welcomed them. And Abhay was just so small, his head was barely reaching the knees of these chanters. But he also happily joined them and he was chanting and dancing with them. And shortly after that, the plague stopped in Kolkata. So this is a beautiful pastime which shows the power of the holy name. Also, Srila Prabhupada would narrate, recount how his father was such a sensitive person. At home when he was a cloth merchant, he had a cloth shop and he had moderate income. So every night before closing the shop, he would keep a bowl of rice for the rats, so that the rats don't tear up the clothes. So like that he was sensitive, and he was also very affectionate. He would never punish his child Abhay. In fact, if he had to correct him, he would tell him, my dear child, you have done a mistake. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father used to correct him, so it is my duty as a father to punish you and chastise you, so now I am scolding you. That is how kind he was. And his daily business, Gaur Mohan would go to the shop, but before going, his daily schedule was he would get up around 7 o'clock in the morning and he would do some household work, do some purchasing, and then till 1 o'clock in the afternoon he would do puja. And then you would take lunch and then go to the shop, take rest for an hour, and then you would come back home at 10 o'clock in the night when Abhay would be sleeping. And 10 o'clock again, Gaur Mohan would do puja, and that would create a sound, ding ding ding, the bell would ring, and Abhay would wake up and see his father doing puja. So Prabhupada says that my father's actual main business was puja, and other things were all, just to earn livelihood, he would do some cloth business. And Gaur Mohan had Vaishnava goals for his son. Like he wanted Abhay to learn Mridanga. Then whenever sadhus would come over, he would tell them to please bless my child, that Srimati Radharani blesses Abhay and he becomes a pure devotee. And then of course his mother Rajni Devi, she wanted Abhay to become a lawyer, but Gaur Mohan protested. He said no, if he goes to London is not good, he will become a womanizer and meat eater. No, let him become a Vaishnava. So that was his mood. And there was devotion, there was education, and also a lot of adventure in Abhay's childhood. Like, he wanted to have Rath Yatra. So Gaur Mohan arranged Rath Yatra for a small child, Abhay, and through the Harrison Road and to the Malik's properties, they would have Rath Yatra. They would come back, and all the Malik's families, they would make Chappan Bhog, they would make feast, and they would serve Jagannath Prasad to everyone. And Abhay was very fond of kachoris. He had many nicknames. Some of his relatives would fondly call him as Kocha, somebody would call him Moti, and he had another name Nandulal, and his grandmother would call him Kachori Mukhi, because he would stuff kachoris in all his pockets. And in fact, from the roadside vendors, if he saw them cooking kachoris, he would take, and from the neighbors also. And in fact, once he demanded kachoris from his mother, and mother got angry. She told him no, and she made him sleep. And then at night, when Gaur Mohan returned and she told him what happened, he was upset. He said, no, if he wants kachoris, we should give him. So then he personally cooked puris and kachoris and fed little Abhay. That's how affectionate he was towards his son. And also in the night, when Gaur Mohan would often sit down to eat puffed rice, and Abhay would sit next to him, and he would sometimes also eat puffed rice. So like that. And one nice pastime is, when they were once in Kolkata, young Abhay saw in a shop, a toy shop, he saw a gun. So he wanted a toy gun. So Gaur Mohan reluctantly agreed, and he brought him that. And then Abhay wanted one more. So Gaur Mohan said, why do you want one more? He said, I want another one for the other hand. And then he started crying and kicking his legs on the street. And then Gaur Mohan obliged, and he gave him another gun. So Gaur Mohan would fulfill all the desires of Abhay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So today we visited a lot of places connected to Srila Prabhupada in Calcutta. And now let's go for offering lamb to Radha Damodar, Yashoda Damodar. And then tomorrow again we will start our yatra to Calcutta, and we will take blessing of all the acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. Let's go now and offer lamb.
Namah Ishwaram Sachi Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Kule Brajamanam Namamishwaram Sachi Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyo lokaladavamanam Parambrishtamatyantato dhrutya gopya Yashodabhiyo lokaladavamanam Parambrishtamatyantato dhrutya gopya Udam tamuhornetram mamrajanto Karambhojayugmena satankanetra Muhushwasakampa-trirekhankakantha Sthitah greimam damodaram bhakti-bhakta Iti drikshvalilabhir anandakunde Swaghosham nimajantam akyapayanta Tadiyeshu tadneshu bhaktirjittatvam Punah prematasvam shatabhriti vande Tadiyeshu tadneshu bhaktirjittatvam Punah prematasvam shatabhriti vande Varam deva moksham na moksham vadimba Nachanyam bruneham pareshadapeha विरस्तं किमन्ये इदं तेव पुरीनाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनसा विरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले ऋतं कुन्तले स्निग्धरक्तशगोप्य मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनसा विरस्तामलं लक्षलाभे नमो देव दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालब्धिमग्न कृपा दृष्टिभृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहानेश मामाज्ञ मे दशदृश कृपा दृष्टिभृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहानेश मामाज्ञ मे दशदृश कुबेरात्मजो बद्धमूर्ध्वैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजकृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयश्च न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरे नमस्ते स्तु धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वसधाम्ने नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Radhe. Jai Jai Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radhe Radhe. Jai Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Damodar Ashtakam ki jai.